TV shows have long been a source of entertainment. But there's one mysterious phenomenon that has puzzled viewers for decades. The vanishing character. The type 1 moment. They're an integral part of the show. And the next, they're gone with no explanation in sight. Sometimes it's an abrupt departure. Other times it's a slow fade. But the result is always the same: characters simply disappear, leaving fans scratching their heads. Today, we're diving into 10 TV characters from some of your favorite shows who vanished without a trace, never to be heard from again. And while some might argue that absence makes the heart grow fonder, these disappearances left fans wondering what happened behind the scenes. Nick Moore was the epitome of a breakout character, originally introduced as Mallory Keaton's quirky, leather jacket-wearing boyfriend in Family Ties. He quickly became a fan favorite. Nick was supposed to be a one-off appearance, but his charm was undeniable, so much so that NBC executives scrambled to give him his own spin-offs. But despite their best efforts, Nick's solo project, Staking at Home, The Art of Being Nick, and another that never even aired, flopped. However, the real mystery isn't why his spin-offs didn't make it. It's why Family Ties didn't even bother to give Nick a proper send-off. After a few seasons of appearances, he was simply written out of the show without explanation, fading away as the show focused on the core family. 2 years of trying to make Nick a star, and then poof, no goodbye, no closure, just another character that disappeared as quickly as he arrived. If you were a fan of Nick Moore, did you feel like his absence was ever addressed? Drop a comment and let us know what you think happened to him. In the golden age of NBC's must-see TV, even kid characters weren't safe from sudden disappearance. Enter Tiffany Holloway, the sweet and shy daughter of Rose in 227, played by Kia Goodwin. Tiffany was a quiet yet integral part of the show, balancing out the more spirited Brenda with her shy demeanor. For the first 2 seasons, she was a staple in the 227 universe, adding depth to the family dynamic. But in season 3, something strange happened. Tiffany just vanished. There was no grand departure, no storyline to explain her absence, and no send-off episode. One minute she was there, and the next, she was gonna like a character who never existed. It wasn't a creative decision. It was real life that led to her disappearance. Kia Goodwin's mother didn't enjoy living in California, and so the young actress and her family returned to New York. Yet the show never acknowledged Tiffany's sudden exit. It was as though the 227 universe collectively agreed to pretend she never existed. Imagine being a viewer back then. One moment, we're used to seeing Tiffany, and the next, she's simply gone without a single mention. Strange, isn't it? When the A-Team debuted, audiences were introduced to a world of explosions, disguises, and cigar-chomping heroes. Amidst the chaos, Amy, Amanda, Alan Better, known as Triple O, was the civilian heart of the group. Played by Melinda Kulia, she wasn't just a sidekick. Amy brought intelligence, bravery, and a grounded perspective to the otherwise action-packed show. But behind the scenes, things weren't so harmonious. Kulia wanted Amy to take a more active role in the action, perhaps even fire a few rounds herself. However, the producers had a different vision for the character. Tensions with the show's star, George Peppard, grew as well. It's rumored that Peppard didn't like sharing the spotlight with a female lead in such testosterone-heavy show. By the middle of season 2, AAA was gone. There was no farewell episode, no dramatic exit. She was simply written out of the show. In her place, a new female character, Tonya Baker, was introduced. But she never captured the audience's attention in the same way. And just like that, Amy Amanda Allen was erased from the show without a trace, leaving fans to wonder what might have been if she'd stayed. Julie Cooper was the fiery, headstrong eldest daughter of Anne Romano in One Day at a Time, a character who brought depth and drama to the show from the very beginning. Relationships, personal growth, and the ups and downs of her life played a key role in the show's success. Fans watched as Julie married Max Horvath and gave birth to her daughter, Annie, adding emotional weight to the series. However, behind the scenes, Mackenzie Phillips, who portrayed Julie, was struggling with substance abuse issues. These personal battles led to a rocky relationship with the show, and after season 5, Julie was unceremoniously written out. The show brought her back in season 7, only to dismiss her again early in the final season following another relapse. What makes Julie's disappearance Especially jarring is how it was handled, or rather how it wasn't. Viewers were given little more than vague references to her absence, with no real explanation. Julie simply disappeared from the storyline without closure, leaving fans with many questions but few answers. Richie Crawford was the adorable, scene-stealing son of Rachel on Family Matters. Beloved for his charming one-liners and interactions with Steve Urkel, as the youngest member of the Winslow family, Richie was a key part of the show's early years, bringing a sweet, innocent touch to the often chaotic family dynamics. His chemistry with Urkel provided some of the show's most memorable moments, and his presence was a perfect counterpoint to the wackiness of the show. However, as Family Matters began to shift its focus more on Urkel and his sci-fi adventures clones, time machines and the like, Richie's screen time slowly dwindled. By season 9, his appearances had become rare, and his final appearance came in the Christmas episode Deck the Malls. After that, he vanished without a trace. No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. What makes Richie's disappearance especially strange is that his mother, Rachel, had already left the show years earlier when her character was written out. So, the question remains, why was Richie suddenly erased, especially when he was such a beloved character? Behind the scenes, the shift in the show's direction and Urkel's rising fame left little room for a grounded character like Richie. Ultimately, his departure was a casualty of the show's dramatic transformation. Martin Kendall, played by Joseph Phillips, was introduced as Denise Huxtable's surprise husband in season 6 of The Cosby Show. Martin brought a sense of stability to the Huxtable family, complete with a daughter and a military background. He quickly became a supportive presence within the family and established a rapport with Cliff and Claire. For a while, it seemed like Martin was there to stay, blending seamlessly into the fabric of the family sitcom. But then, in one of the most sudden disappearances in TV history, Martin was quietly written out of the show. His last appearance came in season 8 in the episode Olivia Comes Out of the Closet. After that, Martin was no longer part of the family dynamic. The show made a vague reference to Martin being stationed in Singapore, but there was no farewell episode, no explanation for his sudden absence, and no mention of him in the final season. As The Cosby Show moved toward its conclusion, the Huxtable family evolved, and Martin's role was lost in the shuffle. His disappearance remains one of the more perplexing moments in a show that prided itself on family dynamics, leaving viewers wondering what happened to the character and why his exit wasn't addressed more thoroughly. Koko, played by Charles Levin, was the quick-witted cook and confidant in the original pilot episode of The Golden Girls. He was meant to be the fifth roommate, bringing a sassy edge to the show's dynamics. However, after the pilot aired, Koko was written out. Nostell Getty's Sophia Petrillo took his place as the wisecracking character who would become iconic. Behind the scenes, the decision was simple. Sophia's breakout success with test audiences made Koko redundant. In the cutthroat world of 80s TV, there wasn't room for two characters delivering sharp one-liners. While many fans may have forgotten about Koko, his disappearance remains a curious footnote in TV history. Seven, played by Shane Sweet, was introduced in season 7 of Married with Children as the Bundy family's new, unexpected addition. Peggy's cousins dropped him off, hoping to shake up the dysfunctional family dynamic, but the character quickly clashed with the show's crude humor and edgy tone, disrupting the chemistry that fans loved. The audience wasn't receptive to Seven, and ratings began to drop. So, after only a few episodes, Seven was quietly written out of the show with no explanation. There was no goodbye or plot resolution. He simply vanished. Later in the season, the show cheekily referenced his disappearance with a milk carton gag, but Seven was never mentioned again. Judy Winslow, the youngest member of the Winslow family, was a consistent presence on Family Matters in the early seasons, played by Jaime Foxworth. She was the sweet, often overlooked sister to Eddie and Laura. However, by season 4, Judy suddenly disappeared without any explanation. Her last appearance came in the episode Mama's Wedding, where she was a flower girl, and after that, nothing. No goodbye, no storyline, not even a passing mention. It was as though the Winslow family just forgot about their youngest child. The show shifted focus towards Steve Urkel, whose popularity had skyrocketed, and Judy's character became obsolete. Budget cuts and shifting priorities led to her disappearance, but it's a case of erasure that still leaves fans scratching their heads. Chuck Cunningham holds the dubious honor of being the first TV character to vanish without a trace, and his disappearance became the basis for the infamous Chuck Cunningham syndrome. As Richie Cunningham's older brother, Chuck was a central part of the family in Happy Days' first 2 seasons. However, by season 3, Chuck was going to no explanation, no farewell, just a quiet exit. Chuck's departure was the result of behind-the-scenes changes. Actor Gavin O'Hurley left after season 1, and his replacement, Randolph Roberts, failed to resonate with audiences. Meanwhile, Fonzie's popularity skyrocketed, and the show shifted focus. The Cunningham family suddenly became a family of 4, with Chuck completely erased from the storyline. The disappearance was so abrupt that the show never even acknowledged it, making Chuck the poster child for this strange TV trope. And so, Chuck Cunningham became the gold standard by which all other TV vanishings are measured. From Family Ties to Happy Days, the mysterious disappearances of TV characters have left an indelible mark on television history. Some vanish with a nod, others without a trace, but each departure serves as a reminder of the strange ways shows evolve behind the scenes. Whether due to creative shifts, real-life issues, or simple oversight, these vanishing acts remain unforgettable. 2 fans who are left wondering what happened to their favorite characters. If anything, these abrupt exits show how easily a character can be erased from a show, sometimes without any explanation at all. But today we can look back and remember these missing faces, their stories left unfinished. Let us know which disappearance shocked you the most, and if you've noticed any other characters who quietly vanished over the years. If you enjoyed this trip down TV's weirdest memory lane, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell so you never miss more hidden gems and TV oddities.